Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. One of the things I get asked a lot when it comes to lupus is my choice to vaccinate myself and my son. Now, a little bit of background, I came from an anti-vaxxing family, actually. I didn't have so much as a tetanus shot until I was pregnant with my son at age 27. This is after I had had a full lupus diagnosis and all of that. I get asked that a lot, especially with the COVID vaccine and everybody deciding to or to not get that. Vaccines are greatly on people's minds right now. And so I get asked about my decision a lot. So today I just wanted to talk a little bit more about why I decided to vaccinate myself and my son and what my reasons were there. First off, growing up, I was definitely on the vaccines cause autism train. I was not vaccinated. A lot of my friends growing up were not vaccinated. We all went to the same church, and that was something that our parents agreed on. I did have whooping cough when I was a kid. I think I had it a couple of times. I know I had it at least once. I didn't die from it. I didn't get measles or rubella or tetanus or anything else that a vaccine would usually protect you from. I always heard about the terrible things in vaccines and just kind of went with the flow that they were not good for you. However, going through my journey to healing and that whole process, I did try going the all-natural anti-vaxxing route. I took supplements and not medication. I drank fruit juices. I drank vegetable juices, all the juices. I went the whole herbal route. And it actually made me so sick that I almost died. I probably would have died if I had continued down that road. And the interesting thing is kind of the battle cry of the Republic of that particular community is you get worse before you get better. So I got worse and worse and worse, just waiting to wake up the next morning and suddenly be better. I had been so beaten down. I felt very disillusioned by the whole all-natural methods. And so when it came time for them to put me on the medications that ultimately put me into remission and are the reasons that I am alive and feel so good today, they told me that it would lower my immune system and there would be a lot of issues when it came to catching certain diseases, and it was highly recommended that I would be vaccinated. I told my doctors that I had never been vaccinated before, and it was a big decision for me. They were on board. They wanted it to be my decision. They told me to think about it. They gave me some literature to read. They told me their experiences, but ultimately they let it be my decision. When it came down to it, I had never been vaccinated, and suddenly I had this life-threatening autoimmune disease that I would have for the rest of my life. Not getting vaccinated didn't protect me from bad things happening to me. Likewise, I didn't necessarily believe that getting vaccinated would have that much of an impact on me. So far it hasn't. I got that part right. But when I got to reading all the risks of the medications that I would be on and what those diseases could potentially do to my body, since it was easier for me to catch them, I decided that vaccinating myself and my child was the best way to go. When the coronavirus vaccine came out, I also decided that that was the best thing for myself. At the time, I was working with individuals experiencing homelessness. They did not always wear their masks, and they did not always respect personal boundaries. When I say I worked with the public, I really worked with the public. So for me, at the time, it was the best decision I knew to make. Now, a few months out from it, I am very thankful to have the coronavirus vaccine. I'm able to do a lot more with it, and I feel very safe walking into any environment. For me, when it comes to vaccinating versus not vaccinating, it really doesn't matter either way. The truth is, most people in America make it to adulthood. Most people don't experience viruses that seriously maim them. Likewise, most people do not experience side effects of vaccines that seriously maim them. When it comes down to it, if you have to pick one, I would recommend you move in the direction that makes you less fearful. That's what I did. I know a lot of people that they choose to move in the direction of not vaccinating because that makes them less fearful. In the end of the day, probably nothing's gonna happen to you. If you still believe that vaccinations cause autism, I would highly recommend reading the book Autism's False Prophets by Paul A. Offit. It's a very good book spelling out the science. That was definitely what got me not believing that that was the case. Honestly, at the end of the day, whatever you choose to do for yourself and your family, that's fine, do it. I think the problem comes in where we recommend it for other people and we step across that boundary of this is right for me, therefore it is right for everyone. That is not the case. It has never been the case. It never will be the case. But at least for me, I chose to get vaccinated and haven't regretted it since. Well, guys, I hope that makes sense. Reach out to me if you have any other questions or concerns. At the end of the day, you are in charge of your body. Don't let a neighbor or a doctor or anyone else bully you into getting a vaccine or not getting a vaccine. Know the information, know the risks, and feel inside your own heart what is correct for you. Personally, I've seen both sides. Right now, I'm on the vaccine side. I don't have all the answers. We're all just making it up as we go anyway. Alright guys, that's all I have for today. You have a good one. See ya.